Welcome back. Respect the Pick. We're ranking the Dick Van Dyke Show episodes. What ones are we on now?
We're on number 132. We did the top 26 worst. Is that how we're phrasing it?
The top worst.
Or the bottom 26?
The best at being bad.
Yeah, okay, that works.
And I know the Dick Van Dyke fans. Well, so we're doing 132 to 122. That's 11 episodes. We do 11 episodes here.
Well, hold on. We always do a top 11 lists. Best
lists.
movies, best songs, best theme songs, best characters, best, and whatever we're talking about.
Well, sometimes when you mess up, like I just did, it gives you the opportunity to correct me so everybody hears it. I do that a lot on this show.
Okay.
I mess up on purpose. All right, anyways. So we're doing 132 to 122. A lot of people say, "Oh, there's no bad episodes." When you supposed a super fan, you say there's no bad episodes.
Well, I was surprised when we were making some of this, when we were recording our data, when we were making our rankings, how low numbers you gave to some of these. It's like, how is this your favorite show if you gave it that low?
Well, but that's because you don't get the ranking system, right? Like, just because it's a 1 on the Dick Van Dyke Show ratings doesn't mean it's a 1 ever. Like theoretically, when we didn't do this, theoretically you would take, because there's 158 episodes, theoretically you would take 158 and that would get 158. Your favorite episode would get 158.
Right, okay.
And then all the way down, and your least favorite episode would get 1.
Okay.
That's why. So when you look at a chart, it should be like most of the episodes should be around the 50s, and then, you know what I mean? Like, so our averages were all in the high 40s, low 50s, except for yours. Yours were all in the high 50s.
So another way of putting it is, and let's see how much controversy I stir up with this take, but a South Park 5 would be Family Guy negative 483.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know that. I don't know that that's the case. But like, if you think like a terrible show, like a Saved by the Bell 1, doesn't stand up to a Dick Van Dyke 1.
Okay, yeah,
you know
that
what
makes
I mean?
sense. Yep. Okay, I'm on board now.
And so you just rated them like 1 through 100, just based on every TV show, but it was only supposed to be based on Dick Van Dyke Show episodes.
Right. But that, I mean, to get it precise like that is hard. Each of us go through. And,
no, I know, but the way we did it, and if we look at our averages, we had a pretty good bell curve with how many. I was impressed.
Okay.
Our averages should be around should be middle of the pack. Right. So, okay. Anyways, the fan page, man, we got some we put them on the fan page so people would look, so people would watch.
Yeah.
It's hard to get things published on fan pages on Facebook because they don't want you to put links, right?
Right. And a lot of fan pages don't want you to like advertise your stuff on it either.
Right. Well,
to get stuff approved. So I want to thank those guys for posting those. That's awesome.
It's relevant to the show. I mean, you have a fan page, and what are you doing on the fan page other than a lot of times just recycling quotes and old pictures and have you guys seen this one yet? And this gives it a new thing. People can talk, people can argue. We had a couple people who made some comments and pretty good breakdown of our top 25. Yep,
it was good. One guy said that he agreed with the bottom 15, but he would have switched it around a little bit. Yeah. I commented on that guy.
Mm-hmm. And one lady, and maybe we could, next episode, we could mention who it is. She said that even though she agrees to a point about Sally with, always husband hunting as being an old like woman trope, like a sexist kind of thing.
Right.
She made a good point that Sally also was a head writer in a room.
Right. Well, that's something that I mentioned is that people used to go up to Rosemary all the time and say, "Hey, you inspired me to be a writer."
And then we had compared,
or your character did.
We had compared it to Mary Richards, and she had said that she didn't think that was a fair comparison.
And here's another thing: it doesn't have to be so general. So what if that's what Sally Rogers wanted? So what if Sally Rogers wanted to give up her career for a marriage?
No, that's true.
Who cares? That's her choice. It doesn't have to represent all women.
No, I know, but they do that. That's the thing. And I'm, while we're on that subject right now, I'm going to quick mention it because my wife and I have been watching the Mary Tyler Moore Show, which is almost as good as the Dick Van Dyke Show, man.
I have to get back into it.
It's so good, but every time they do a special or they talk about the Mary Tyler Moore Show, the thing that they talk about is Mary Richards was a single woman and she was working in a newsroom where men usually work, and she didn't have to be married. She didn't have a husband. She didn't have kids, and she was revolutionary. And then they just stop. They don't talk about how freaking funny Ted Knight was as Ted Baxter, or how Ed Asner was as Lou Grant, or how funny Valerie Harper
Betty
was
White
as
gets
Rhoda.
brought up plenty, though.
Betty White was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my dude. They lost a lot of people on that show to their own shows, right? Spinoffs. And they brought in Betty White, who was amazing. And they brought in Gloria Engel as Georgia. And
funny.
she's hilarious as well. So the show is just, it reminds me of Parks and Rec. It's It's a woman in the lead, you know what I mean?
Strong female lead.
And with lots of great characters.
Lots
Lots
of
of great cast.
Lots of professional ambition, putting work before a relationship kind of thing.
And great cast members. Unbelievable, right? Parks and Rec. You have tons of great characters.
Right.
So anyways.
Hold on. Speaking of cast members, we forgot to mention we're missing one today.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Jaden. And Jaden's not here. Look up above me.
Yeah, there's no. To me, it's next to me.
Yeah, he's not here. He's in school. Jaden's going to college. So
hopefully we'll get him remotely when he can't get home sometimes. But today he couldn't even do that.
No, he can't even remote. He's auditioning for some.
So he gave us permission to get on and talk about the next 11.
Because I
episodes.
want to get it going. Because these fan pages, dude. Going back to that, I posted one, and these guys are like, "Hey, we should do our own 158." These guys don't even know one of the guys' names. The guy
Rob
who ran
was
against Rob. He was like, he held that against us, and we didn't know
Hey,
it.
that's a fair statement.
That's fair. It's fair. Just because they know it better doesn't mean that their opinion matters more. Like, you know what I mean? But okay.
Well, it means maybe that they've seen it more and that they pay more attention than we do.
Yeah, I mean,
At least on that episode. Again, that's an episode. If I don't like it as much, sometimes I'll skip over it.
right. So we're gonna jump right in now. Okay.
Okay.
And we're gonna go to what episode number?
This is episode 132.
132. Everybody started doing the.
This
twizzle.
one's fun. I don't get why why it made it so low. Just the dancing scene at the end alone. Watching Dick Van Dyke do his thing. That's one of the first ones where you see him like get down and boogie.
And classy Freddie Blassie jumps in there.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
wrestler.
I was gonna say he gets it, and he's another one. He looked like he had white hair. It was probably like bleached blonde, but he looked like his hair was really white too. And that's how he looked in the '80s when he was introduced to him. And he did a sit down mock breakfast with Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, he did.
That was kind of like a parody of an Andre the Giant interview that they did back in the day.
Yeah, Freddie Blassie was big back then, man. Like so, but
yeah, the Twizzle.
but that come on though. One dream
That's-
in my heart.
That is just not the style of music. You'd expect to hear a song in a voice like that in a Marx Brothers or Laurel and Hardy movie.
Right.
You know, and how can you tell me this? Can you tell me how singing into a phone, walking back and forth throughout the living room, gives you a good enough audition for Mel Cooley to say, "Sign that man on my show"?
Yeah, Mel Cooley was hearing one dream in my heart. Right? That's that.
Yeah. But that actor's name, Jerry Lenning, he was in Damn Yankees. That's his. That's the biggest role. I couldn't find much else about him. The IMDb didn't even have a picture of him.
Damn Yankee, like on Broadway, or
No, the movie.
oh,
He played a character in that, and another thing that is impressive is that usually when you talk about a character like that, who's supposed to be 18, 17, 18. Mm-hmm. He was actually 19 when they recorded that. So, normally they have like a late 20s, early 30s guy playing a teenager.
Do you think they were making fun of the twist, or were they trying to capitalize on the twist?
Probably a little bit of both. I mean, but what's the deal? Why did they have to have it in a bowling alley? I don't get that part.
Because of the shoes, right? Because they could dance with the shoes. And everybody's going in the twizzle, twizzle.
The one thing I always notice about that is that you can hear Buddy in the background going 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, he's
5,
so
6,
loud.
7, 8.
Yeah, Buddy.
5, 6, 7,
Yeah,
You know,
he's really loud.
Yeah.
He's really loud.
But I mean, you get to see Mary Tyler Moore do a little dance thing, and other than tap, you know. Normally, it's just they're up there doing tap, you know, or soft shoes or whatever you call them.
Soft shoe, not tap.
And you know, Dick Van Dyke just gets up there and he's like, woo, you know, he does the little thing that he still did in the night at the museum,
Dude, I
in
like
the end credit scene.
when you watch them dance together. It's like it's interesting because you don't know who's better. You see Laura with the finished, like dancer trained moves, and she does all the moves the way they're supposed to be done, and she looks great doing them. And then you see Rob, and he's like doing like these other takes on him, and he just looks, you know, it's more like he's just into it, like, you know, soulful.
Yeah.
So they both bring that to it, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, Dick Van Dyke said in an interview, I can't remember where it was, but he said he didn't learn how to dance until later in life.
Well,
when he started to do Bye Bye Birdie.
Right.
Someone taught him how to dance, and he just fell in love with it. And, you know, he's just, you know, the pantomime movements kind of coincide with dancing, being able to move your body in different ways.
Yeah. Yeah. So you do get to see them dancing, and it's fun, right? It didn't make it very high up on our list, but I think a lot of it's because anytime you have to hear them people sing for a very long time, slow like that, it kind of drags the episodes down.
It can.
And that was still coming out of you're still coming out of the Hollywood time where the people had to sing, they had to act, they had to dance, and a lot of times you get the feeling on Dick Van Dyke Show they were trying to launch people's careers a few times, and I don't know if that's what was happening there.
Right, like they were trying to do, like maybe they said, "All right, you know what? We'll have him come in and we'll sing the Twizzle." But you know what? He's a really good singer. Can he sing Can he sing a song into a flower bed too? Can he sing a song into a flower pot? That would be great.
It's just not that funny. That episode doesn't have a lot of comedy in it, right? It's just, I mean, it's a little. Sally's kind of funny and Freddie Blassie, but.
And it's a little annoying how at the end they're like, "No, I think the Twizzle's just fine. We just don't want the people to know that you know the way that they got stubborn about it. You know, it doesn't seem like they needed to be that dramatic. Just say, listen, he's a really good singer too, and we don't, you know, he doesn't have to like not show up.
They
and,
weren't
like,
going
to
They weren't going to turn him down. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they weren't going to be on the Alan Brady show because he wants to sing a ballad.
Right.
Right.
So I guess that could be what.
So now we're going to move on to number 131. Right. Yeah. 131. It is Baby Fat.
Baby Fat.
It's not one I've watched a lot. Sometimes when you go back and watch the ones that you haven't watched often, you find a little bit some more jokes in it.
Right.
And maybe we weren't as patient when we were younger, so we didn't stick with the episodes as much.
And then sometimes you sit down and you say, "All right, I'm going to watch this and see if and then you say, "Oh, okay, that's why I didn't like it."
So for those of you who wonder, Baby Fat is the one where Alan Brady wants Rob to help him punch up.
He wants him to ghostwrite.
He wants to help him fix the script for Baby Fat, which is written by Harper Worthington Yates.
Yep, and he always has to have his dog with him, his German Shepherd.
Right. And Harper Worthington Yates was played by, now some of you people who watch, it's either Strother Martin or Strother Martin, Strother Martin, and he was in a lot of John Wayne, Paul Newman movies. Did some directing and stuff as well. So he's in it. What's Phil? Here's a trivia question for you. What's the Taylor's name?
Bo Brown.
Buck Brown.
Buck Brown. Damn it.
Buck Brown is played by Richard Erdman. Richard Erdman was in a lot of movies, 160 movies or so. He did a lot of directing, and he was in Community, the show that was is it still on?
No, I don't think so. I thought maybe they talked about like reviving it, but I don't know.
He just passed a few years ago. But he was in Community, and he was the tailor. And then the other guy that was in it his name is Sandy Kenyon. He's in the episode as well, and he plays in some Twilight Zone episodes.
Is he like the producer that talks to Alan Brady at the beginning?
Maybe.
I don't know.
But I just know that he's in it, and there's not much to say about that episode.
I'm mad that I didn't remember Buck Brown because I love when Rob didn't Laura say, "Who made fun of your suit?" And he goes, "Buck Brown."
Yeah, right. Right. Because he draws all over his suit and stuff. So that was interesting. Really quick, while we're on this topic, when I asked you what the tailor's name is, and you didn't know, I'm thinking about doing a live Respect the Pick Dick Van Dyke trivia episode, right?
Okay.
Where we get these people love this show and they know this show.
Good.
Dude, there was a trivia game on our phone that we used to play, and you could find a whole bunch of categories, and one of the categories was Dick Van Dyke. And the top like 5 people in New York State were me, my wife, and Jaden, and then 2 other people.
Interesting.
Because I didn't know everybody. There was this many people that loved the Dick Van Dyke Show like us, you know.
The man who didn't know who Rob was running against made the top 5?
I don't know. I'm saying that me.
That's you.
Oh. No, I was number 1
You were number 1.
in all of New York State.
The man who didn't know who Rob was running against was number 1.
As far as Dick Van Dyke trivia on this app.
Awesome.
And I was like, okay, I must be like the number 1 Dick Van Dyke. And then you go to these fan pages and wow, these people know. A lot of them are people that probably were around when the show was out. I don't want to call them old, but they're older, right? And so they've been watching the show longer than me. I've watched the show so many times. I can't imagine there's people who've watched it more than me, but apparently so.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm gonna have a prize like a gift
Something
card.
small, right?
Like an Amazon gift card,
We
$20 Amazon.
we
gift
don't
card.
have a big Respect the Pick budget.
No, I'll take it out of my own money just to get people, and it'll be fun.
I agree. It would
And
be
they
a lot
can
of
call.
fun.
I'll give out my phone number. I don't care, and we'll hook up.
Okay. I think there's ways of doing that to hide your phone number, but
Then I can block people if I don't like them.
well, no,
They can call me up and we can talk Dick Van Dyke. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? Anyways, it's a good idea.
Okay. Well, let's move on to episode 130.
Episode 130 is 3 letters from one wife.
That's a weird concept
Yeah.
for an episode of the Dick Van Dyke Show.
I like it that it gets Millie into it a little bit more.
Who don't love Millie? Who don't love
Underappreciated,
Anne Marie
underused.
Gilbert?
I thought maybe, right?
I don't know. You see her quite a bit on the show. You see her a lot more than Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry's in a surprisingly low number.
Yeah.
It's less than 20, if I remember correctly, is the amount of episodes.
It wouldn't. Well, unless you count like his voiceovers,
Well,
where he's like announcer on the TV.
early on in the season, early on in the show, Carl Reiner does most of the voiceovers, but as the show moves on, Jerry Paris does a lot more of them.
Yeah, like he does the exercise guy. 1, 2, and
Right.
and one,
In
1,
in
2,
the-
3, 4. Yeah,
in the
Crummy Buttons commercial.
yeah.
Have your Crummy Buttons.
Yeah, that's right. No, that's Alan Brady, isn't it?
No, I'm pretty sure it's Jerry.
Oh, okay. Anyway, speaking of that, which is interesting, 3 letters from one wife is the first time you see Alan Brady's face on the Dick Van
Really?
Dyke Show.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that being a thing. Like, Carl Reiner didn't think he was a big enough star, so they never wanted to show him on camera. They just, like, show his feet up or he's getting the shave or whatever. And
They show him like in full clown like makeup and
right, like on a cover of a
sooner than
magazine.
that,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the first time. So that episode, by the way, is when Rob convinces Alan to do like an artsy fartsy kind of a show.
Right,
And then
like a
Alan doesn't want to do
dramatic.
it, and then Alan's gonna do it, and then Millie writes how many letters?
13?
So close. That's impressive.
12?
14.
Damn
Millie
it.
writes 14 letters. See,
So
guys?
why is it called 3 letters from one wife then?
I don't know, but obviously Millie's the one wife.
Right.
I don't know what. So
Right. But she did it to make Alan feel good about making that decision to help boost Rob.
right? And then the episode never aired. So then it's like, well, so then how
She
did
mailed
that-
them before the episode
I
aired.
still don't think that's like Rob's fault. Like why would Rob lose his job because Millie
Right. I
did
don't
that?
get why it would be such a big deal for Alan to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Rob, just go back and say, my neighbor thought she was helping me out. And,
Right.
You know, I don't think anything to like get into full blown panic about.
But he does. He panics quite a bit. So then,
Yeah.
all right. So next we have episode number 129, A Word a Day. Right. This is the one when Richie
is cursing. He's like writing swear words on the chalkboard, and it's just so weird to hear. Like, oh, he wrote that word, and then Mel comes in and is like shocked. Rob, this is a family show. You know, over one little curse word.
I believe Richie's named after Laura's kid. Okay, sorry. I digress. Mary Tyler Moore had a kid named and she called him Richard, and she called him Richie.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, Rob is named after Rob Reiner, right? So,
I mean,
I'm sorry.
It would make sense that he did. I don't know if that's 100%.
I digress. I'm sorry, but this is what we do on Respect the Pick. You guys should watch the other episodes besides the Dick Van Dykes, but
Yeah, we talk about Marvel movies and Star Wars and Game of Thrones and all kinds of nerd stuff.
Laurel and Hardy. We had a
yeah.
black and white episode, and
Yeah, we couldn't figure out why we were not in color.
look at all this color. It's amazing. All right, so you got anything
All
else?
this blue, yeah.
A word a day. You got anything else on there?
Word of the day. The thing I remember about it is when we recorded them off Nick at Night, they used to tease the commercial how like sometimes you can see members of one Nick at Night show and other ones, and the priest was William Shallert, and he was in Patty Duke, and he was in a bunch of stuff too going on. He was in all the way up to How I Met Your Mother.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he was in stuff.
So a word a day. That's number one.
But then again, that's one thing the Dick Van Dyke Show did pretty well is shocking you. You know, it's like we're going to teach that parent teaching his kids how to say bad words and teaching to my parent, and then he walks in and again he's a priest.
Yeah,
it's like you wouldn't expect that foul language to come out of the priest's son.
Right.
So. But yeah, it's okay. I mean, not a whole lot other to remember about it. Not a lot of one-liners that stick out to me.
I mean, it's not terrible, but I mean, it's 129.
Buddy's always funny. You know, a rap in the mouth, definitely. You know, 2 raps in the mouth. You know, so it's always funny when.
So we're on to 128.
Yes.
128 is Meerschatz's pipe.
Meerschatz's pipe. How did this one get so high? I hate this episodes. We've done way better episodes than this already.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Somebody gave it a good rating.
Rob is miserable throughout the whole episode. He's like sick and he's jealous and
listen. The last few episodes have all been very, very, very close.
Okay,
so that's part of it.
All right, but yeah, he's so sick and miserable and. He's jealous of Buddy because he gets a freaking pipe from Alan Brady, and Buddy's like gloating about it and being a dick, and you don't normally see that out of these guys.
Well, it did get a 35 from one of the 5 judges. So that
interesting. Okay,
Meerschatz's pipe. The other thing about this is that it's weird to me because as far as the air date goes, if you look at the air dates, this is the second episode ever aired.
Yeah,
right. This was the second episode. No, this wasn't the second episode ever.
It was definitely recorded early. Like he's calling Laura Laurie throughout the whole thing. And
as far as airing it, though, it was down in the list. Number 2 was Curious Thing About Women.
Yeah, this is like 10 on IMDb.
But if you have it on, I don't know if it was on Netflix or if it was on the DVD set.
Yeah, it might have been the DVD set. It's like number 2.
It was the second episode.
Yeah,
so
I remember that.
I mean,
you can tell it was recorded earlier because, like I said, Laura, and they show like outside the office. They show the hallway outside the elevator.
Does Rob have more makeup on again? And
I didn't pay attention to the makeup. The first episode is ridiculous. He looks like freaking Buster Keaton or something with all that makeup on.
I just remember liking at the end when he goes, "Huh? Yeah, I knew." Like I always thought that was funny. But yeah, it's not the greatest.
Yeah, I was never a fan of it. I'm surprised it made it this far into the 3rd episode of doing this.
There's no guest stars. There's nothing much to say. Not a lot of funny jokes. Yeah.
Right.
It does feel like it was like it may have been the second one shot and the 10th one aired or something like that. But if you look at the air dates, it's behind a bunch of them. It was like in November or something. So,
right.
So yeah, it goes. And so then the next one we're on is 127, The Man from My Emperor. Now this is the one where Lee Phillips is the actor who plays the guy, and he wants to hire. Yeah, he plays Drew.
He wants to hire Rob to write an article for him in his magazine, right?
Right. Like it's like a Playboy, like Drew Patton is the guy's name, right? And so, Drew and Hugh, sometimes it's just copying the syllable numbers.
Right.
Drew Patton, Hugh Hefner.
Right.
But it's clearly a joke about Playboy.
Right. And of course Laura's jealous and she doesn't want Rob to do it. And And it wouldn't replace the Alan Brady show, right? It was going to be something that he could do extra.
One thing that I've found out is that Laura, I got to go back and look and make sure of this, but Laura is the receptionist voice when Rob first goes to the office.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's Laura. And
I never noticed that
she used
before.
she played a receptionist in another show before, a detective show.
Right. They only showed her legs, right?
Yeah, we should look that up too. But yeah, and then there's also, I don't know if this is anything, but some people allude to the fact that he says he thought he already had his Miss October.
Oh yeah, because he wants Laura to be it, right?
And then Laura was in the season before the episode called October Eve.
Oh,
where the guy painted her naked.
Right.
So,
That Alan Brady.
yeah. That one.
Well, Carl Reiner, not Alan Brady.
Okay,
so that's it. That's it for those two. Or
yeah. So
all right. So now we're on to 126.
Number 126. It's Anthony Stone.
Anthony Stone. That's the funeral director guy, right? The mortician.
The mortician. So Sally is dating a guy. She really likes him, but she doesn't want to tell anybody what he does. Buddy and Rob uncover the fact that he's married. They think that's the secret that Sally's keeping, with the secret's really if he's a mortician. Not a lot of comedy there. The guy who plays Anthony Stone barely does anything else. He's just
Just a random dude.
Yeah, he's just a bit part and everything else. But we have a lot to say about No Rice to My Wedding, I bet, which is the next one.
This one, I hate this episode. This is one of my least favorite episodes.
It's number 125.
If not one of the least episode. I hate any episode that questions Rob and Laura's relationship. It just drives me crazy. And the whole episode is about, does she choose Clark or Rob?
It hurts your heart, right?
It does.
You gave it a 0.
It's like
Jaden gave it a 1
because I watch these episodes and you get online and you look for like bloopers and stuff. And as cool as it is, it like breaks your heart at the same time to see that it's not real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like same thing with Star Wars. Like it's it's just weird with stuff that you love so much, even though it's an actor, they played a part and there has to be outtakes and there has to be behind the scenes stuff. But as cool as it is, it also just like it crushes your soul.
Just sometimes when you have seen a line given, the specific line given so many times, and then you hear them do a different take and they have different inflection or something like that. You're like, what? That's not how he said it. Even
right.
you see an episode, you see a photo of the Dick Van Dyke Show, and it's just zoomed back just a few feet, and there's a camera in their face, and there's a director, and
right.
You know what I mean?
There's a part where there's no wall between the kitchen and the living room and stuff like that.
Well, you see that in the episode.
Yeah, there are a couple where sometimes they goof.
I don't know one of them. They just blatantly do it.
Yeah.
They open it up and play the guitar on the fucking counter, right?
Oh, is that a Stacey Petrie one?
Probably.
But
yeah, here's my thing. I gave a no rice at my wedding a little bit higher grade. One of them is I really like Laura as the bivouac baby. I mean, come on, the poster of Laura, that's pretty good. That's a pretty. Good thing Jaden's not here right now.
Right. He doesn't. He gets uncomfortable with just talking about us liking women, finding women attractive. I mean, women do it about men on shows too. I
know. But yeah, Mary Tyler Moore as the bivouac baby. Baby is good.
Yeah.
I think Rob's has some funny moments. Rob like
the
pointing
watch,
at his watch and all of
Yeah.
that. Like you say you like Rob and those things. He does them. He does it a lot in that episode. I get why you hate the episode. For your specific reason, right? It's just, you don't like it that they don't.
And then even at the end of the episode, she calls him Clark. I'm like, you fucking.
Don't say it.
Don't you? Come
don't
on.
Say it. I love Mary Tyler Moore just as much as Dick Van Dyke.
I love Mary Tyler Moore too, but that's a terrible way to end the show. Terrible. You don't call your freaking. I hate it.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
Because Clark and Rob both kiss Millie.
Okay.
Now, I have seen, I don't know if this is true. You guys at the fan page can tell me. Is there an episode or a moment, or is there only one, or is there very few, where Jerry kisses Millie on screen? Because I have heard and I don't know if it was in a fan page or a Facebook page or a IMBD trivia, that Jerry and Millie, either they never kiss on screen or they only kiss once, or maybe I read something about Rob has kissed Millie on screen more than Jerry has. You guys who are watching, somebody's going to know. Somebody's going to.
I can tell you.
They kissed before?
Do you want to know?
Yeah.
Okay. How about when Millie's hypnotized? Doesn't she jump in his arms and kiss him?
I don't know.
And then, oh my God, put me down.
And
is that
so
the
only? Is that the only time?
That might be the only time. I'm trying to think, and I don't see. I mean, but they're supposed to be two. They're always bickering and fighting anyway. You know.
Yeah,
that's
but
kind of their thing.
Maybe it's because Jerry Paris was married, or I don't know. I want somebody to tell me if whatever I read or I dreamt it or something, or it might be a very limited time.
See, that's another thing that kind of crushes my soul.
Rob actually kissed Millie more than Jerry ever did.
And it like if they don't get along, that would like depress me if they like really didn't get along offset, because it like makes me think of like Cheers. Like the guy who played Eddie, the guy who married Carla, the hockey player, he went on the radio station and said, "Oh, wouldn't you be miserable if you had to kiss her every night?" So they fucking fired his ass. Get the fuck out of here, dude! And they killed off his character in an embarrassing way. Go fuck yourself, buddy. You don't fucking come after Mark's staff like that. You don't come after our cast. So I love that about Cheers, that they just booted his ass out of here. Get out of here, dick.
Cheers is overrated.
Eddie LeBeck, right? That was his name.
Yeah.
I love Cheers. Cheers is just another one of those shows where it's true. It's like everybody knows your name. It's a place, you know, they kind of had broken homes or broken families, so this was their family. This is where they went.
Every TV show is like that, though. Everybody knows your name. That's what
I know, but
the comfort of a TV show brings, right?
Yeah, and that show really does in a different way.
Yeah.
Okay. But here, one last thing about No Rice at My Wedding. I didn't even realize this. I was never a big fan. I was never a big fan of the show, but the guy who played Corporal Clark Rice, Van Williams, he was the Green Hornet, and shows up in an episode of Batman and Robin. That's Corporal Clark Rice, and I did not know that.
He shows up in the Batman, the 1960s Batman, or 60s.
Yeah, they like kind of have a crossover a little bit.
Adam West.
Yeah, with Adam, they were neighbors and really good friends, I guess. Adam West and Van Williams, and then of course Bruce Lee was Kato.
All right, I believe we have 3 episodes left to go. Okay, episode number 124 is A Bird in the Head Hurts.
Again, I don't know how this one got so high. I can't stand episode where Richie is whining in the whole thing.
I like that episode. I think I don't love it, but it's got some funny moments. And Richie says that the bird is attacking him, and they don't believe him, and they bring over a game warden or something like that. And the cool thing about this episode is, Rob Reiner has said that this actually happened to his neighbors.
Oh, really?
And his neighbors were his neighbors' real names were Jerry and Millie Schoenbaum. Mm-hmm. So he named Jerry and Millie after his neighbors, and that really happened to those neighbors. And Richie's teacher in the episode, Laura mentions his teacher gets married, and her name is now Mrs. Schoenbaum.
Oh, okay. I never put that together.
So that episode kind of...
I do remember hearing Carl Reiner say Schoenbaum, Millie and Jerry Schoenbaum, but I never put it together that because I don't pay attention when this episode comes on.
And if Laura says her name is now Schoenbaum, you're not going to remember.
True.
You know what I mean? You're not.
True.
If you don't hear it enough. So that's episode number 124.
Yep.
And it's not. I don't think it's that bad. Next one is How to Spank a Star.
This is another one I don't care for. The Paula, what's her name? Paula Poo. They want to call her Paula Poo. She's the guest star, and Mel is asked to take a break from being producer because he does not get along with Paula Poo. So again, there's a lot of awkward moments where it's pretty funny when he can't get the intercom working, or the intercom, whatever it's called, the intercom working very well. And he accidentally says, "And send a dozen of roses to my wife." And Alan Brady comes out and says, "What do you want me to put on the card?"
The guest star on the show is Paula Marshall.
Okay, yeah, but they wanted to call her Paula Poo Poo. Right. Again, he's just so good at that.
What'd you say her name was? Lola
Lola Albright. She wasn't in anything major. Starsky and Hutch, Incredible Hulk. She was in a bunch of other stuff, but nothing that I really know. Okay. And I always got her confused with Valerie Blake, who was in the first.
Oh, that's one of the very early episodes.
Right, the very first
third episode, maybe.
And Jerry's like Valerie Blake, right. You know.
All right, so we're going to move on to episode number 122. It's the Talented Neighborhood.
We're starting to get there. Yeah. I like this episode. This one's fun.
The Alan Brady Show has a contest to see who's talented, and the neighbors want to bypass the red tape. Mm-hmm. So they always end up.
They don't want to audition. They think they can go through Rob and Buddy and Sally and get right on the show.
And Ken Lynch plays Mr. Matthias.
Right.
And he's also, you might not, I mean, if you want to put this in your own headcanon, Mr. Matthias is also a police detective.
Yep.
Who graduates on to become the warden of prison.
That holds Lyle Delp.
The same guy plays those three characters. That happens a lot on the Dick Van Dyke Show.
In that episode,
yeah,
the mom of the kid who wants to sing opera is also the mother of Priscilla Darwell, who beats the crap out of Richie.
And Priscilla Darwell's dad is Laura's teacher.
This is a whole 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon we got going on here now.
I mean, again, it's like people didn't rewind and pause, and
right.
They didn't have videos, and it wasn't all over the internet. Oh, this guy played this guy.
Right.
Once it was gone, it was gone.
If that fucking woman showed up at my house when I got home from a long day work and wanted to have my kid listen to some kid, I'd get the fuck out of my house. Are you crazy, bitch?
Right.
Move out of here. Are you kidding me with that?
Exactly. Get out of here. I'm not.
What kind of a saint do you have to be to sit there and listen to this kid sing? It's unbelievable to me.
So, yeah, that's how to spend. Talented Neighborhood. Now, the other thing on Talented Neighborhood mentions, it establishes that the helpers have 3 kids.
Okay. I thought that's come up a couple times.
I can't. Well, anyways, it's Freddie, who we see a lot.
Right.
Ellen, who's in the episode. Ellen's in the first season, right? The one.
Right.
Richie stepped on my foot on purpose.
Is that where Richie is when he first comes home when he's in the very first episode?
The girl Laura's talking to is not named Millie. So,
do they say her name?
Yeah, they do. But
okay.
She mentioned Ellen has a disease, right?
Right.
I don't know if it's Ellen. We should know that. And then Patty is the other one. They do mention Patty, but I don't think you ever see her.
Okay. I thought Patty does sound familiar.
So, yeah.
I mean, Millie's clearly pregnant in a couple early episodes, right?
Yeah.
The one with the boat, the inflatable boat, she's clearly pregnant in that.
Sure seems like it.
So, and they don't address that because you weren't even allowed to say the word pregnant on TV at the time, right?
Yeah.
So weird.
So that's episode 122. Now
that's the last episode we got today.
That's the end for today. Please hang in there. We're going to give you guys the next one coming soon. It'll be the next 11, so that's 121 through 111.
Yep. So we still won't break the top 100, but hopefully these will get closer and closer to being released on time. The problem is Jaden with his scheduling. He was nice enough to let us record without him just to get an episode out there.
Yeah, and maybe he'll let us do it again. So, but please stick with us and comment on the things that we were mentioning. We had a couple questions we wanted to know. We wanted to know if Millie and Jerry kiss on screen, or if they do, it's only once, or does Rob kiss her more, or whatever it might be. There's a couple of...
And is there a reason to that? Do they not get along? Does Jerry Paris and Ann Morgan Gillert not get along? Right? We wanted to know that, too.
Let us know. People are commenting. Tell us what you think of this 11 here, and I guess that's pretty much all we got to say.
And also, don't forget, we have like 30 episodes out there. We don't just talk Dick Van Dyke. If you're interested in other stuff, take a look at our episodes on either YouTube or anywhere you get your podcast. We may talk about something else that you like as well.
And if you give us a chance, I think you might stick with us. We just need people to listen.
We're a freaking hoot.
Yeah. Also, I know I've said this before, but I don't remember if I said it while we were recording. Let us know if you would be interested in doing a Dick Van Dyke Show, a live Respect to Pick Dick Van Dyke trivia.
That would be fun. We have been live on YouTube and Facebook before, so it would be cool to reach a broader audience and
It would have to be something we're up against the clock because I don't want people. Well, some of these questions would be hard to look up the answers to. So,
True.
So
right.
So some of the questions I have will be. I've already thought of some. You really wouldn't be able to look it up. So yeah, let us know. And then also you can try to stump us, but the only caveat's going to be you got to stump us with a top 11 episode. You can't stump us with some crappy.
I think you can go higher than top 11, but we definitely don't want to try to be stumped on freaking jilting the jilter or whatever.
Yeah, I don't want to know. I don't want to have to know about romance, roses, and rye bread. And,
yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you can stump us, that would be fun too. They'll be able to. They'll be able to. These people know the show. Better than we.
Are we reciprocating with that? Are we gonna try to get them with a different one? We don't want to ask them about Meerschat's pipe.
No, we're asking them whatever they want. We're asking them whatever they want.
Whatever they want, or whatever
we
don't
want. Know what their top 11 is, though. So
true, but at the same time, do we? I mean,
we're not trying to stump them. We're just giving them questions. It's not about stumping.
Isn't that what trivia is?
Yeah, but they're just trying to stump us.
Okay,
we're gonna give them 5 questions, and if they answer,
it just doesn't fair for us.
It's not the same game.
Okay,
it's not the same game.
Okay, if you say so.
What I would do is I would have 5 questions for everybody who wants to play. They would be timed. They would get the answers. Whoever got the most right. If people who got 5, they would have like a sudden death. Or something like that.
All right.
Situation. And then I'll give them I wish I could give them a Dick Van Dyke prize, but what would it be?
Yeah.
Nothing I can do.
Don't you have a signed photo of Dick Van Dyke and Mary Tyler Moore?
Yeah, but I'm not giving that. I'm not giving.
You don't want to offer that up as a prize?
Listen, I'll send them a Meerschat's pipe. All right. Okay, so we're gonna sign off. Check us out on YouTube and all those other things. Like, subscribe, comment, ring the bell.
Ring the bell's a thing.
I'm just practicing that.
We're getting there.
But yeah, give us a comment where we really like. I like reading comments so much. It's so fun.
It's been fun.
We try to answer you right away, yeah, it's fun to find fellow Dick Van Dyke fans.
Absolutely. Right. See ya.